Usually if I don't recognize the number, I don't answer the phone. But I was like, I'll get this.
I literally just picked up my phone and then I got the call at the same time.
My husband's like, the phone is ringing.
A voice message alert popped up.
It's like, oh, man, it's from 3 yards.
I better check that. My inbox was full, so I'm like deleting
I
messages.
immediately started saying, oh my God, oh my God, oh my God. And I ran out of the room, and then my daughter chased me because she thought something bad had happened.
It's almost like in the movies when something happens and there's just like this complete silence and the room just kind of gets, and it's just like you're there. And I was just like, wow.
Every time I wake up in the morning, I'm like, wait, oh yeah, that happened.
She said, congratulations. I dropped to my knees, and I was crying like a baby.
I cried.
Yeah, I started crying.
I instantly got emotional.
I was just so happy. It's like one of those smiles where you feel it, like right here.
I was kind of in shock.
I'm still processing the fact that anyone has recognized the work.
Years of hard work is finally paid off.
It was just a beautiful moment.
I'm over the moon.
T. Ayo Austin, drummer, dancer, teacher. The work that I create digs into the depth of who I am, how I see myself in other women, the stories that we share, the trauma that we go through, and utilizing West African dance and music to reach students, children that don't really have anybody that understands. I was 15 and my mother passed away. So a lot of being young, African-American, queer, a woman, it was like no one to talk to, not having that female energy, teaching me how to face some of the adversaries that we go through in life. When I got put into these programs where I was learning African dance, singing in the chorus, that was the healing for me. When you're taking a dance and a music that's so rich in culture, it doesn't matter what your race, gender, size, anything. Spirit happens within everyone. And as long as you have a little bit of soul, a little bit of spirit, the music, the dance, it penetrates you. The drumming, the dancing, and the music, and the energy of the culture took me out of my darkest place. And then I watched it then in another generation. Those kind of testimonies are the things that make me feel like it's a medicine that's not often given or used.
Sandra Delgado, playwright and actor. I write because I want to connect people. I started it as a way to uncover my own history, my family's history, and now it's snowballed into really uncovering Chicago histories. My family's from Colombia, but I was born here in Chicago. My father told me about this nightclub, La Habana Madrid, that was on the corner of Belmont and Sheffield. I would never think of it as a Latinx hotspot. La Habana Madrid was this deep dive into a lost part of Chicago history. That was this big aha moment for me as far as the direction that I wanted my playwriting to go into. Also, just giving different shades of what Latinidad means. What does it mean to be a Latino, Latina, Latinx person living in the United States right now, living in Chicago right now? Opening night of La Habana Madrid. The audience could really see each other in this nightclub setting. A daughter goes to hold her mother's hand during a song, and the mother is singing along. But then you see this person who doesn't know that song at all. That's not their culture, but they see that. And that's moving to them, because then people walk out of there and they are more connected. That is what I want every single night. That's why I do this.
Brittany Edwards, music artist. As an artist, what I do is attempt to impact and change lives.
God don't care, why do we? He said come as you are, so I'm coming as me. Check me in my gym shoes, sweatpants, hoodie with a ponytail. I'm not trying to please people if you couldn't
I
tell.
was the daughter of a minister of music in church, and as I got older, I saw the influence that music had on people. It makes the world go round. It's that unspoken language, and so when you can tap into speaking that language, you can change the world, literally.
Young with an old soul, so I've been told. Born in February, baby, so I've been.
As a musician, I'm very eclectic.
I rap, I sing, I produce, I play the keyboard, I play the drums, teaching myself how to play guitar. The project that I have out right now, there's one musically, a song that could be considered hip-hop. There's one that's literally a classical piece. I want to reach different people with my music, and so in order to do that, you have to meet people where they are. After my second year of college, I didn't want to deal with, the industry. But, you can't be afraid of what's out there because there are people out there that need what you have. And it's your responsibility to take it to them. It instilled in me that I could make my own path and make my own way, and everything else follows. And so from that moment on, it was just like, all right, we're doing this.
Diana Fried, artist. A lot of my work stems from working with thread and cloth. But the very materiality of the cloth and the stacking becomes a really integral part of what the work is. There's a variety of scales. Some of them are intimate, you can hold them or look down at them in a very close distance, and some of them engulf you. If you get close even to the large works, you begin to notice a tactile presence and a process of making things that accrue. They accumulate, they get layered. Different layers of time is palpable in the work when you see the process, the techniques. People tell me that, my embroidery takes a long time. It's true. It's visible time because you can see it. But the sculpture takes a really long time as well, in a different sense, because it's about the body engaging with the space, letting things dry, allowing for things to collapse so that you can redo them and they don't collapse anymore. It's a way of acknowledging the transformation of matter, because a lot of my work is working with the substances that come together to create thematic experiences and also sensual experiences that are outside of any kind of explanation. I would hope that that's also something that happens.
Leida Garcia, teaching artist, mentor, mother, and wife. I've learned in the process of teaching dance that I break down movement at a very, very basic level. I found the most satisfaction working with high school aged youths. I made a decision to stay at Little Village High School for 12 years, and that definitely was the longest residency I've ever held. So to see several graduating classes and to see them continually coming back into the space, just popping up, hey ladies, so I was in the neighborhood, can we just come dance? We just want to dance with you. Sure, as long as there's space. Building those relationships and then watching them grow, it's a beautiful thing. I found myself questioning, what am I doing for the next 5 to 10 years? And I've constantly been digging. A couple of things surfaced. One was, it's time to tell your story. So here I am. So yes, I want to tell my story. I want to tell my mother's story. I want to tell my brother's story. My brother who's been deported. My sister who got shot in the back over love. There's a lot of stories there. At the end of the day, I create spaces for anyone that comes through the door, exactly as you are.
Ben Lamar Gay, musician and storyteller. I tried to find something hipper to describe myself, and I fell into storyteller because it's the truth. My relationship with stories and folk tales, it's just dealing with memories, transformed into something else and passed along to different communities.
He took refuge within her embrace.
After researching and learning and being involved and being welcome into different communities, you start matching, dots or whatever it's saying. And everything would come back to these old folk tales or tradition, or maybe ancient memories, The diddly bowl I used to have dreams about before I knew what it was. It's just something about having one thing and creating shapes off of one line, Most cultures have a one-string instrument. Just having one string, like one idea, man, you have all you need, you know? I guess the process of becoming a composer is always with us, you know, from the start. So now I just found one thing to help tell the story, and right now it's just music.
Hương Ngo, interdisciplinary artist. I often start with contradictions between personal experiences and the way that my history is told to me. And I try and make visible some of those things that are rendered invisible. My work is definitely invested in colonial histories of refugees and immigrants. I grew up with really, really strong women. That's not the typical way that Asian women are represented. They're usually represented as meek. And I always think, like, I don't know that. That's not the women in my family. I think of my work as a form of activism, but I think of it also as something that makes me more of an activist, because it really is an acting out of personal philosophy. It's often coming from my own personal history, growing up in a family of refugees and growing up as a woman and really trying to understand those histories and what hasn't been told. I think about this video that I made with my niece and my sister. It's one in which we're listening to a song that my mother is singing. At a certain point, my sister kind of starts to tear up. A lot of it is thinking about those ways in which strength is not visible or legible to the rest of the world in the way that I see it.
Christine Pasquale, costume designer. When someone comes out in your costume and someone says, hey, I knew exactly who this person was, but even before they open their mouth, they think, oh, cool, that's good. I did my job. The costumes I do are mostly modern dress for everyday people. Contrary to belief, modern contemporary design is not just shopping. Sometimes you have to fight the urge to make it look too put together. If no one says anything about it, sometimes that's good because it's not standing out. It just looks natural. Costumes do more than just clothe the actors. They're telling the story too. The costumes have to tell us what year it is, where we are. I like doing new plays because you're the one to have the first stab or take on it. You're also helping develop the play in some way with the playwright and the rest of the production. I really admire actors for what they do every night on stage. I don't think I could do that, but I could do it with my costumes. I feel like, oh, my costumes are doing the talking for me.
Elgin Bokhari, illustrator, graphic artist, educator. I've been teaching visual arts, creative writing, a bit of audio production. I came into the situation teaching ceramic sculpture inside the Cook County Juvenile Detention Center. Working with young people who are in conflict with the law, there's not a lot of hope there sometimes. And they spend all their time being taught that they are criminals. These are regular kids. Most class situations, the first thing all kids for the most part are gonna do is say, I don't do that. And what they mean by that is I don't see people that look like me doing that. Or I'm not good enough to produce something that looks like that. So thus, I'm not gonna try it, right? My idea is to get them to try and then to show them where that work can go once they have tried. The hope is that we will have something to get young people involved with when they get out. And I'm proud to say that we have at least like 8-9 students who were formerly incarcerated that have now got back involved with us. I get gratification from seeing other people reach their potential. They're young people that do amazing, amazing things and have the opportunity to do more amazing things when they get on the outside.
Anna Martine Whitehead, performance maker. I didn't grow up trained as a dancer. I grew up dancing at parties. But I did start to understand that my body held a lot, that I was in conflict often with it. As a dancer and a choreographer and a movement artist, the movement work starts internally. I teach dance at Stateville Prison, working with Prison Neighborhood Arts Project. What we're trying to do is figure out how being in our bodies can help us get free of this place. Improv is like the entire thing. Everyone is in a state of constant contingency. Especially for marginalized people, there's just like a general relationship to improvisation that then also comes through an expressive practice. You just have to now respond because this other thing that was totally unexpected and out of your control has occurred, which is the nature of being in prison. It's the nature of being a teacher or a visitor to a prison. It's the nature of having loved ones in prison. I have learned so much from the students that I've had at Stateville about survival, faith, hope. It kind of pulled me out of something and pushed me towards something else that feels very important to who I am now.
All of these years, I've been investing my time, my money, my blood, my tears into servicing others and doing for others. I can't really say that I've had someone say, here, this is for you. I'm very humbled by that.
It's just nice to know that some people are looking and know that your work is worth it and it's needed.
I feel like it's a gaining of a family.
Just being recognized from home.
Having an organization like 3 Arts in Chicago that realizes all these gems that we have here in the city is so Chicago to me.
I love Chicago so much. Oh my God.
It's an honor to represent my city.
There are many voices in the art world that are not recognized.
I'm grateful that there are organizations who are making visible artists who are underrepresented.
To have someone look at what I'm doing and say, we want to give you something for your work. And that's where it gets a little emotional. Like, it's a blessing that 3 Arts is here to be able to allow us to see ourselves in this kind of light.